Als ich ein kleines Mädchen war, konnte ich nicht schwimmen. Etwas war am anderen Ufer. Etwas, vor dem mich Baba nicht zurückhalten konnte. Exit? Werte Anlage 4.
Gerne. Anlage 4.
Wir müssen die Verbindung kappen. Die Daten löschen. Die Simulation.
Das ist alles, was ich habe.
Was hast du vor?
Ich speise Exit in die Simulation. Und dann koppel ich mich mit ihr.
Du kannst nicht raus. Nur rein.
Wir sind Impuls. Es geht um den Beweis eines Gedanken.
Was sind schon Gedanken, wenn man ganze Welten erschaffen kann?
Welten erschafft man nicht. Sie entstehen.
Hello, everyone. This is Simon Foster, Festival Director of the Sydney Science Fiction Film Festival. It's kind of a big deal this year. We are holding the world premiere of a new German film called EXIT PANGEA. And from Berlin and Baden-Baden and also Berlin and from an unknown location, we have the creative geniuses behind the team, behind the film. I'm going to go around as it is on my screen. So give us a wave when I say your name. Anna in the top corner there, how are you?
Hello, I'm great.
Anna Rebecca Sars up there. Lovely to talk to you. Leon Russell BAUMANN, where are you?
Hi there.
Hello, good to talk to you. TIBOR, the man who managed to make everyone look good on screen.
Hi there, from Sydney.
Such a TIBOR thing. And there at the bottom of my screen is producer Sarah DREYER. Lovely to talk to you.
Hi there. Happy to talk to you.
So we're a couple of days out from the world premiere. I know as the festival head and all my festival team are very excited to be bringing it to Australian audiences and then hopefully throughout the world as it deserves to be. How are you guys feeling right now at this point in time of the life cycle of the film and your role in it? TIBOR, let's start with you. 2 days out from the festival, what sort of feelings are going through your tummy right now?
Oh my God, it's such a long ride, and I'm so happy to be here. So big thank you to German Films who made this journey for me all in all possible. And it's you know, it's like always like the peak point of amazing the greatness and frightening stages at the same time when the world premiere is ahead of you. So I'm looking really forward to sit there and to feel like, okay, we can now let the movie like go into the world. And that's always beautiful.
Anna, for you, you're on screen for all the film, really. How is it for you to be on the verge of having your performance out there in the world for the people to see? What's it like for an actress?
Really exciting. I'm really looking forward. And yeah, I hope you all like it.
Guaranteed, I'm sure about it. Sarah, it's been a long sort of journey for you. How are you coping with these final days before it all goes public?
I'm feeling great joy, you know, to make such a movie, especially a genre movie with such a small budget. It's a long journey. It's hard work. It's a lot of passion. And then to get to the moment where you finally present this movie officially to an audience, it's just incredibly joyful.
it sounds exciting. I mean, the film itself. Leon's joined us again. How are you, mate? Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Tell us about this sensation of having a film that you're front and center of about to premiere.
To be honest, I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to, I think films should be seen by people. They shouldn't be in a box somewhere in a room waiting to be seen. No, they should be shown. And so, yeah, I'm really excited that it's screened in a country so far away from Germany as well, which is really great, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the Australian audiences are going to lap it up. They're going to have a great time watching it. Tibor, can you explain? Give us one of those 25 words or less sort of plot summaries about Exit Pangeia. No spoilers. And I know you're a talker. You love to talk. I've spent some time with you, and you're good with the gab, as we say here in Australia. So what's give us a bit of a rundown of what the film's about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a hard one, man. So 25 words or less. It's like Exit Pangeia is a sci-fi, as you wrote, Simon, Cronenbergian drama thriller movie. So it's about our main character, Puya, who is trying to run a simulation to the perfect point where you can't tell, is it a simulation or the reality? And therefore she's searching for an impulse that she knows since she almost drowned in a lake as a child. So we follow her journey, and also alongside her best friend Yoro, who's trying to help her in one sense, in the other, trying to get really through to her. So it's a really private story about, I think, also like a little bit of a search for a higher consciousness.
23,
so
24, 25. That was perfect. That was spot on 25
cool.
words. Thank you.
Cool. And no spoilers.
No spoilers. No, it was perfectly done without spoilers. Sarah, when you came to the production, at what point did you come on board? What were the things that sort of drew you to the narrative and what Tibor was selling?
Actually, we met at a point where there was only a one-pager and not yet a treatment or the script. And I was really drawn into this idea of creating a simulation that is not perfect, but she is like so passionate and going over her limits to achieve this goal of having this perfect simulation, and also the struggle that she would put this fleshy things into her own body to cross this border of perfection, had this really plot-driven energy I was looking for in an idea. Actually, it was this one little page, and from there Tibor started to write, and we had a lot of talks about the plot and about Puya and Yoro. So it was in really, really early stage. It was a great work to start this baby together and then to see it grow. And then in the end, having a full adult movie there.
It certainly
it was a long journey.
Yeah, it certainly is an adult movie.
Really, rich journey.
Yeah, really, and the complexity of it on screen is, I think, what made it sort of a really viable entry into our festival. Our festival is an event that we sort of steer away from the word sci-fi and we use the word speculative fiction, and I think this is a beautiful example of like speculative fiction. Nobody speculates more on screen than Anna Rebecca Sales. Tell us about getting into the head of this character. You get to play at a very, I mean, you don't play it at a very high pitch, but your character leads a life of anxiety and tension and very driven. And to maintain that for an 81-minute film, which you do on screen at all times, is an incredible performance. Tell us about getting in touch with your character.
I loved the whole work from start to the end. I did a lot of body work, movement. Yeah, how's she moving? How's she talking? We had some rehearsals for some action scenes, and yeah, the whole work was really, really intense and was so much fun. And yeah, it all ends with a haircut. Which I love, because I love to transform and really get into the character. Yeah. With all my heart. Yeah, and I really love it.
Sure. The playing with, and I'll get Tibor to comment on this a little bit as well, and we'll come to you in a second, Leon, about your character. The very textured and very, some might say, gruesome sort of flesh moments, the Cronenbergian sort of scenes that I refer to, that reminded me of classics like Videodrome. Playing within that space, using your imagination and using your skill as an actor to relate to this makeup work, this incredible sort of prosthetic work, the plastic fleshy moments of this film. You certainly give it your all. You're a very dedicated performer.
Thank you. But it was the whole work of the amazing team, because all of the flashy parts were so realistic, and it was made so well that in the end you just dive in and you have that flow, and you forget the camera, and you see all of the great sci-fi the movie set, and you can, it's really, really nice for an actress to be able to dive in, because everything around you is made so well.
It certainly comes across on screen like that, for sure. Leon BAUMANN, tell us about, and it's not, I should point out, it's no coincidence that the director and one of the stars has the same name. I think there's a bloodline somewhere there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Nepotism is alive and well in the German film industry. I love it. Tell us about your character and your experience on set putting this film together.
When Tibor gave me a first draft and we started talking about the part, it was really about, the question was really, how is the relationship between Pooya and Yoro? Because I think my character, Yoro, is a character that needed to be, he needed weight. He needed to be heavy and at a slower pace compared to Pooya. So my preparation was really around that, because his full focus is on Pooya, I think. And yeah, working on set was so much fun, because we had a lot of time. Even we didn't have a lot of money, we did have a lot of time to rehearse the scenes, not only the stunt scenes, but the stunt scenes as well. Yeah. But we were often in the room together, working on the characters, talking about the script. And when we got on set, it wasn't so much about figuring out the scenes, just it was more about getting into the details of the scenes, which felt really comfortable in a way, and calm.
That's interesting that you had a period of rehearsal. And Tibor, maybe you could weigh in here that it's not usual that a low budget or student film essentially is given that time to develop the chemistry between the characters and the actors, and that certainly benefits this film tremendously. Tell us about that rehearsal period. How much of the script as it was written are we seeing on screen? How much was developed during the rehearsal process? What were the rules regarding that?
So first of all, like I like to thank Sarah, because she was like supporting me on that specific time. I'm also like knowing if we want to do this, we have to come really prepared to the set, because in terms of shooting, like low budget or the student movie, you have to know what you're doing on set. You don't have the time to, figuring out what you're doing today. You know what to do on the set. So rehearsing was also part of this really getting into it. And also, like, I think there was one particular scene, one dialogue scene I rewrite because of rehearsing. But all in all, actually, it was more like getting into the characters with Anna and Leon, and also like the scenes for Annabelle and Anna, because, like, when you're rehearsing, you not just go into the scene, but you try to find out what is the background of the chemistry between the characters. So there are specific kind of work you can do with actors to find really out about all that stuff behind the characters. And this gives, like, was talking about gravity. This gives this gravity background to put that really on screen without talking too much about that in the movie, as I mean. So the rehearsal was, for me, on one hand, really incredibly helpful to get together with the actors into the characters, and to understand them, actually. Like, I know, like, you write it, you prepare for shooting, but in the meantime, you rehearse, you find so much more out than you thought there is. And that's really a gift. And I think, like, in terms of future projects, this is a process I want to hold on to, because it's really, really important to get along with a good movie, I think.
Sarah, the strengths of TIBOR as a director, and I mean, if you don't think he has any, just lie. We've got a bit of time to fill. So I'm just saying that is he a director that you find is adaptable to the situation, and what are his strengths as a filmmaker that you can take away from having worked with him?
Definitely, he is always carrying his vision, his idea,
yep.
And he's inspiring the whole team, and that gives a lot of motivation, because he always knows why we are doing this and that. So he really is holding the team together. And there was room for discussion, because obviously with big ideas and big visions and a small budget,
sure.
You need to adapt to certain situations, and also to spontaneously driven situations where you have to solve problems together. But I always called him my partner in crime, because in Germany we would say we would steal horses together.
Nice.
That's what partner in crimes do. And he had this strength with holding the team together with this vision-driven energy, and I was also holding the team together, but with some more this softer energy sometimes, and this was like a good mixture, and we are strong horses, as you would say.
Anna, I want to come back to you.
Better having 2 strong horses than none.
2 strong horses out front. You should make a Western the way you talk about horses. That's great. Anna, I want to talk to you for a second about your some of the great sort of strong female lead characters that your performance reminded me of. And I'm before I jump in with any sort of ideas about that, who are some of the actors or actresses, or actors, I should say, who you look to as and the performances that you look to as being sort of part of what your character became?
I should have made a list.
Yeah, just say Meryl Streep. Everyone says Meryl Streep, and then we can move on.
I made a list, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of all the bits and pieces that you pick up when you watch a lot of great movies over the years of your life, and then in the end you're like, what is the specific part, but you cannot like grab it anymore.
Sure.
It's yeah.
That's very true, and that's not unlike a response that you, Tibor, gave to a couple of questions. I sort of went down the path of, you know, what are your inspirations? What are the films that have sort of been part of the DNA of this movie? And your answer was great. So tell us what when I asked you that before, what your answer was about what were the films that influenced you and how you dealt with those influences.
So, like quoting myself, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, it was like in the time in the time I developed together with Sarah, and then getting first really into the story, I felt like, okay, there's so much movies I have like in me from my youth and the time I was more watching than doing movies actually. So I start watching them again. Like there's particular like of course all the Cronenberg stuff, like you said earlier, Videodrome, and also, but also like works from Aronofsky's P, of course a little bit of Matrix, all that stuff. I watched that all again because I had the feeling I had to be aware of this influence to get them in a kind of way out of me, to find my own voice in between all that. So because my personal opinion is nobody has a unique idea that comes from nothing. So we all like build up from a certain ground, and to know that ground means to work proper, because you can tell, okay, what influences I lean on, and that's a good thing. I think I mean, you know, like Leon and I, we had sort of time together being influenced, of course, being brothers, and this kind of knowing the influences is also like in the work with Stefan, our DOP, because also there is the question after what influences me, on how can I work proper with that influence and also like around it a little bit, if that make any sense.
A little, yeah, absolutely. Leon, tell us about the influence that movies and storytelling had on the Baumann household. What was it like growing up with a movie fan, a movie nut? Are you one yourself? And what are those discussions like when you all sit together and talk about your favorite movies, which we'll get to in a minute?
Oh, favorite movies. You know, I remember many moments when I was a child, a teenager, when my brother said to me, you know, there is this great movie and I'm going to show it to you. We're going to watch it together. It was sometimes a bit too early for me. I was quite young when I saw The Matrix, and Alien and stuff like that, and Blade Runner. But it's so interesting because these moments really are so deep in my memory, so deep in my brain. I remember when we first saw The Matrix, when he first showed it to me, I was sitting on your bed in Nuremberg, and I remember this excitement, you know, of these movies. And this is what storytelling does. And working on this movie, it was really interesting when I got the script. I had the feeling I immediately understood it, like the essence of it, because it's a language in which we talk. So from that perspective, it was really easy to get into it. There was a deep connection to it. Yeah.
Sarah, and I want you all to think about your favorite sci-fi movies, because we're going to end the interview with that. So get your thinking caps on, get your Googles out. Sarah, there's been a lot of talk about how this was a green production. Tell us about your passion for sustainability and for green sets and for making the next wave of films to come out of your part of the world and hopefully other parts of the world very green conscious?
Sustainability, sorry, sustainability was a great part from the very beginning, because I started to work in this field some years ago. So when I've met TIBOR, I said, we will do green shooting, and he had no other choice. But when you start to think green in all aspects of the movie making, and also motivate your team, your DOP, how to use LED lights, and also the scenography, what kind of materials could be used. And we had a lot of reused props, and it was like spreading this into the team and filling it in all the parts. And then it was kind of totally fine for the crew, for example, that on set we had no bottles, but we had like water tanks, and we have vegetarian food. And it was a lot of fun actually to have this holistic concept of thinking green, and then having like everyone on board, and then you just can do it. In some situation, of course, it was a discussion about where would we shoot, for example, the lake, because if we have longer ways to get to the destination, of course, you need more cars, and also we need more energy to get there. So it's a lot of work, but the more often you do this, the easier it gets. And also with a team that kind of likes the idea of not only doing a sci-fi movie, but also having a sci-fi green movie that in the end has this perfect, well, I won't spoiler it, but have this like holy lake. That is also a message for this green environment we're looking for. Yeah, I think that was a good concept. I would do it again and again and again, and also tell everyone about it, because in Germany sometimes people would say, oh, green producing is so much more work, and it's also so stressful to produce a movie, and then it's like on top of your work even more work. But I'm seeing a new generation of filmmakers who don't see it as an extra work, but as part of the whole work.
Sure.
So
yeah, let's talk about the lake, Anna. Oh, sorry, Tibor, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add, like, I feel that really, I'm really thankful for bringing that producing stuff up, because before that project, I didn't know that much about it since Sarah came along, and I have to say, really, it never compromised my vision at all. Like, I think the fear is like you can't do the movies you want to do, but that's not the point. It's just a point of rethink how we use the stuff around us, and that's just a good thing. I want to add that from a director's perspective.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, actually, I want to add one line to this, because it was so important to have TIBOR on board for this from the very beginning.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was not only that I said as a joke, you don't have a choice, but as soon as he was a fan of this idea, we would work together on this. And of course, if you have a producer and a director who join on this together, then you can make a green movie. But if you have like a producer or director and one of them is not on board with this idea, then the struggle starts. So
the tension, sure.
Yeah, we could work on this together, and that made it kind of easy, although it wasn't, but it felt easy.
So it was at least happy, which is important, yes. And I want to ask you about the lake scenes. You spent a lot of time in the lake, in the mud, splashing around in the lake in the mud. Did the shooting schedule suit you? That wasn't like in the middle of winter, was it? And they had to sort of CGI out all the the steam coming out of your mouth and other bits. So is what was the physical aspect of the shoot like?
It was really cold, even though it was summer. I was sitting there in my Ugg boots and my winter jacket, and then out and in. But I enjoyed it because I love extreme elements, and I like going into extreme situations, and there's no going back. You're there, and then we start shooting, and that felt incredible to really have nature around you, and you can use that as well for your acting.
Sure. Yeah. Let's stay with you. We're going to start wrapping this up, but we're going to do the favorite sci-fi movie, favorite film of. I mean, youth. You're all still youthful, but what are the movies that you think of when you think science fiction? Anna,
I say, Alien.
Wow. Because
this wraps up the question before. It has a very strong female lead character, and yeah, that's my choice. Alien.
Sarah, are you a sci-fi fan, or are you just doing this gig for the big bucks? What's the story?
I like creating new worlds, so sci-fi is totally into this range. My favorite movie as kid was The Last Unicorn, so the fantasy fandom started there. One of my favorite sci-fi movies of all times is also Alien. Sorry, Anna, but I won't steal it from you.
Join the club.
Yeah, big fan of Ripley and this whole alien creating, and how they've done it with the lighting, beautiful.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite sci-fi movies of the last year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was so amazing. I went twice to the cinema and will watch it again and again. It's so funny and so emotional. I loved it.
Yeah, it was such a fun film, such a clever film. I can't believe you said The Last Unicorn. The Last Unicorn I remember watching as a kid and just fell in love with. It's a fantastic film. Leon, your favorite sci-fi movie?
Okay, this might be controversial, I don't know, but I do have to say, for me at the moment, is my favorite sci-fi movie is Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, I think we've just lost Leon. I think we've lost the connection there. I could have sworn he said something which I certainly didn't say. But yeah, no, go on, keep going. Let's hear your argument for it.
It's interesting because for me, watching this movie was kind of like a process. I remember watching it the first time, and I got out of the cinema and was, I guess, confused and still conflicted because I was so attached to the old film. But then I saw it again, and then I saw it again and again. And for me, I don't know. I think the atmosphere is so strong and the whole world sucks you in. And how it deals with the question of what it means to be a human, what it means to be not a human, and what it means to love and not to love. It's just so epic that I don't know.
Didn't change my mind. No, didn't work on me. All right, Tibor, let's hear it. The man himself. What's the film that you go back to with the science fiction bent?
So there are so many of them.
Yes, there are.
Obviously, and they're really such great work from so many amazing, talented people around the world, and it's really difficult also because sci-fi is such a wide range, in my opinion. You know, like there are movies from different perspectives and, like you said, speculative future. So, but I will go with Existence from Cronenberg because of this feeling of a circle you can't flee from that. It's like you're watching that movie, and every time I watch it, I have the feeling of maybe this time I will solve the problem. Maybe this time I know for sure what's real and what's not. and of course it's not happening.
Mm.
And of course the Grandmaster just going around with this unbelievable journey. It's such a great movie.
Speaking of unbelievable journeys, ours comes to an end. You have been wonderful to talk to, all of you. Thank you so much for getting up or staying up or being around. You look like you're in one of the cool sort of inner city bars in Sydney, TIBOR. I think I know that place. So you're having a good time. That's fine. Anna, Rebecca Sells, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on the performance. Leon Russell BAUMANN, you're wonderful. Thank you, mate, for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Sarah Dreyer, so lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for the part you played in bringing all this together and making it happen so smoothly. And we're really proud to be showing the film down here. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And
It's so much fun to
TIBOR,
talk to you.
TIBOR, you've been an absolute anchor around my neck all week. I can't wait for you to go home. Thank you so much for this terrific film, and we're so proud to have the world premiere here, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's really a pleasure to be here and have a day off from you. So.
All right, guys. Thank you. Well, congratulations on the film.
I drink a beer for
be in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you to the audience. Have fun watching it.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.